This is a videocast.
Hi everyone, it's Tsitsi, or Dai, depending on where you know me from. I love all my names, so yes, I use them. And today I'm just going to be reflecting a little bit on what isolation and self-quarantining has done in my life over the past few weeks. Days before my company actually asked us all to work from home if we could, I'd already been working from home. I hadn't been feeling 100%. And so it was really a seamless transition for me. So many other people's lives have been affected in unimaginable ways, but my life continued fairly the same. But even in all that sameness, there has been a definite change underneath the hood, so to say. So if you take a look at it, one of the major changes that I felt to my core was the Sacraments, going to Mass. On Ash Wednesday, just before quarantine, the priest, instead of tracing our foreheads with the sign of the cross, sprinkled the ash on top of our heads. And that for me was like what? What was that? And that was actually it basically shook me. So at first I was like, no, something's got to give. Then 2 Sundays thereafter, I was on cantor duty and the organist sends me an email saying there will be no Mass today. And I'm like, what? And so I go online, hurriedly searching to see if I can find somewhere to go for Mass. And there was nowhere to go. And then going online and trying to figure out how to do an online Mass. Because for me, online Mass had never been Mass. It had always just been, you could listen to that for edification, for education, to listen to the word. But if you attend online Mass, you haven't really been to Mass. So you can imagine the fundamental mental shift I had to make from online Mass is not Mass to online Mass is a good alternative given the circumstances. So using my spiritual communion and relying on it a lot more now that I don't have access to Holy Communion has been something that I had to learn. Knowing that there is no chance or very little chance for confession, again, is something that I have had to slowly but surely. When it's there, you don't go as often, but when it's not there, you suddenly want to go all the time. So it's made me very, very aware of the gifts that we have in the sacraments. And I'm telling myself that after the quarantining and the lockdown has ended, I am hoping to then really make use of the sacraments when they're available, to go more often to Mass, to go more often to confession. My faith has deepened in some aspects, in others not so much, but I think I have a stronger connection to God. There's been a lot more silence, and in that silence, I've had to really take an inward look at me and my faith and how I live out my faith, and beginning to realize that I do hear him a lot more in the silence. So understanding that silence and welcoming it has been a part of this journey. There's also been some fears, because if you take a look at it, the world is changing and the church is changing with it. And I'm not sure if it would be a great thing. Here where I live in Heidelberg, not very many people go to Mass. So I'm just thinking, when all of this ends, will it mean that there will even be less people in Mass? Because they'll just think, well, it wasn't that important during quarantining, so we can just continue with online Mass, and that would be a shame. So there is a bit of that fear. There's also a fear that we will get so used to separating ourselves from other people that even when there's no danger, we will still keep ourselves physically distant and then emotionally distant, which is not a good thing. One thing that has been major positive on my end has been the online community. A few years ago in university, soon after university, the online Catholic community is what really brought my faith to life. Asking questions on Catholic answers, getting to know people from Catholic blogs, following them, reading about their lives and how they celebrated their faith, that boosted my faith astronomically, and I had kind of left that behind, gotten busy with life really. But now I'm rediscovering the online Catholic community. It's changed. My favorites are no longer online, some of them, But there's some new people out there as well who have really strengthened my faith. I mean, I was part of the Catholic online conference. There's a TOB one coming up. So those chances are amazing. There are chances that I would have never gotten at a different time, to just be able to have that fellowship online. So that has been quite good and amazing. And it's slowly but surely made me want to start rejuvenating my blog. It's hopefully going to be up and running again, because I realize that if I have gained so much from them, then maybe somebody could gain something from me as well and my walk in the faith. I've been learning a lot during this time. I got 2 new instruments. Crazy, I know. But yeah, I got 2 new Chinese instruments, Chinese zithers. Well, they're not really zithers, but that's what people call them. One is a guqin and the other one is a gucheng. And they're both amazing. One is 7-stringed and the other one is 21-stringed. And I'm like adding it to Ella, my harp, who is 41 strings. What can I say? I love my stringed instruments. So learning new music has been really, really fascinating. I've been learning to record video. I've been learning to record my music, which takes forever. I've realized how much of a perfectionist I am. I don't know if I'll stick to it because it takes forever. I do so many takes. I mean, this little video has probably taken me over 3 hours. Go figure. But yeah, I remember like one thing that was really good during this time is Dean, because the band could not play for the vigil, he asked a bunch of us to make a recording and we sent it to him and he spliced it all together and we sang Matt Maha's Christ is Risen. And that was an amazing feeling, doing the work first, sending it through and then getting the result thereafter. Was just like, it felt like the body of Christ in a different way, which is very beautiful. And then, of course, my priest in South Africa, he asked me to play the harp a couple of times for daily mass, and he played it during one of the masses, and that's been quite amazing as well. So there have been these little sparks of light and joy that I realized I can still bring during this time, and how we can still connect using the stuff that we actually do, but just doing it a little bit differently. Because my life hasn't really changed. I mean, I still manage to have my harp lessons. I still manage to have choir. We do choir via Zoom, which is interesting, fascinating, but actually works. And all of my things, I think it's only 1 or 2 things I haven't been able to do or shift to online. And I've realized that I'm lucky. And not everybody is as lucky or as privileged as I am. I can still continue to work and get paid the amount I'm supposed to be paid. I can still continue to contribute to my team, even more so because this is one of my skills, working with remote teams. But for others, it's not been the same. And just beginning to realize that even my transition was so seamless because I have withdrawn from life, which is not a good thing. So I need to be a giver. I need to be gift. I need to give of myself a bit more than I've allowed. So it's made me really, really aware that I have a responsibility because my life is really okay at this point in time. I haven't lost anyone and I haven't lost work. But for others, it has not been the same. So there has been a sense of guilt that there is something that I should be doing a bit more. I should be availing myself more. I should be volunteering more somewhere, somehow. Maybe not right now, but in the coming few days. I need to make sure that I'm making the world a better place. My job is to be Christ's hands and feet and mouth, and I'm hearing that call and I'm trying to figure out the best way to heed that call and do what God is asking of me. Some amazing things that I've actually discovered also in this time, because we can go for walks. I've discovered my neighborhood. I've been living here for nearly 2 years, but I did not know so many nooks and crannies. But having to take a walk and actually be like, there's orchards to the left, there's orchards to the right, and it's amazing, actually. So yeah, I've enjoyed seeing my neighborhood through new eyes and waving at my neighbors all the way down the road, just because they're all there and you can see them every once in a while. So that has been good. And one thing that I've discovered that I should not do anymore after this is all over is TikTok. It's a time waster. That's all there is to it. It's fun, but so much time disappears. And I've been eating healthier, so I'm hoping to carry that on, and exercising a lot more because sitting is really not good for me. So yeah, trying to do a bit more exercises in the house via YouTube. So that's been good. Yeah, and that's been me during this lockdown. I hope something from here can inspire you and make you live the best life you can.